This moves us on to our final segment of the day, which is Super Mario 3D World. This game started off as a sequel of sorts to Super Mario 3D Land of the 3DS. This game is built on the basis of that game because it's made to be able to take advantage of the Wii U. And they've clearly done that with 4-player multiplayer support and the fact that you're able to see it in very crystal clear HD. And I've actually gotten the opportunity to play this game at Comic-Con. So I got a pretty in-depth perspective of it. While it didn't seem very interesting at the time, the controls were strange on a Wiimote, and the weak use of a gamepad wasn't very interesting. The controls were strange on a Wiimote, and the weak use of a gamepad wasn't very interesting nor intuitive. It seemed like a remake of 3D Land. Like everything was just remakes at the time. Wind Waker, New Super Luigi U, etc., etc. However, Nintendo finally goes into the more interesting details of the game. They announced some new items, and what are your thoughts, Jonathan?
Well, I think this game looks really fun, and I honestly can't wait to get my hands on it. I think that Nintendo is trying to keep the same good fun while changing just minor aspects of the game. When they announce a new Mario game, I don't think that I'm paying for the new game. I imagine that I'm paying for the new levels. I imagine that I'm paying for the time that it takes to craft a new level. It's like paying for more DLC. But of course that would get boring, so they just change minor aspects of the game that make it really fun, like having the gang of Mario characters run around in cat suits and have all the abilities of cats. So to me, it's buying the new levels, really. I think that Nintendo is moving towards a more Japanese culture, though. They have put some more Japanese aspects into their games, but now it is getting rather Japanese. They're putting people in cat suits and doing a lot of Japanese things in their games now. Japanese culture is a little weird to us, and we are a little weird to the Japanese. If you go to Japan and tell them that Americans dunk donuts in coffee, which seems very normal to us, we dunk donuts in coffee, and then we eat them at like Dunkin' Donuts or whatever. That seems very natural to us. It does not. It seems weird to them. It's like putting whipped cream on a potato chip and eating it. That's basically what they think we're doing. If you put it in an American perspective.
I totally get what you're saying. If you notice in the recent trailer, did you ever notice the fact that one of the levels there actually took place in a Japanese area with Japanese buildings?
Oh, did it? I did not notice that.
Yeah, they did. It was very interesting footage and a very interesting world at that. I'm curious to see how they envisioned that. In addition, I totally agree what you're saying when you say Dunkin' Donuts and everything. Just imagine if they say, did you know that you're not supposed to write on business cards in Japan? It's like very disrespectful.
Really? Yeah. It's just the cultures clashing, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, anyways, I think it's really cool that they're trying to merge cultures in these games because it's giving us a different experience and a different look on how other people think, react, and make in other parts of the world. And it also makes it easier for them because then they can sell the exact same game in Japan, and it doesn't seem Americanized, if I can use that, to the Japanese. So it's good for everyone. So I'm really excited to get my hands on Super Mario 3D World and see what it's like. You mentioned that the control scheme was a little weird. Elaborate on that.
So, you know that the gamepad has 2 joysticks on it, which allows for more precise control. And Super Mario 3D World requires very precise control. And because the Wii Remote only has a 4-way directional D-pad, I found myself in. It was hard to move diagonally. It was hard to get into certain nooks and crannies. It was hard to wall jump. Sorry, what?
Can you not use the control sticks?
Well, you don't have to, but on the Wii remote, it's just like really awkward controlling. You find yourself going places that you don't want to go. Now, I want to make sure I make this clear. I am playing a beta version of the game, not yet released to the public. At the time, the plot seemed really lacking, but the plot looks really nice now as a final version. So I'm sure they've done stuff to improve the controls. So
yeah.
I could be wrong, but I think the controls were really awkward on the Wii remote.
Okay, well, let's get to wrapping this up. So my thoughts on all of these is I think it's very interesting. If I had to put all of this into a sentence, I'd say it's very interesting where all three of these companies are trying to go. I'd love to see where this turns out, or how this turns out, rather. They all are going in different directions. They're crossing paths, stealing ideas, but I think eventually they're all going to end up in very different places, and it's going to be a very different market. They're not going to really be competitors anymore. They're going to have their people, other people, and they're no longer going to be clashing. So I think it's going to be very interesting where this goes. I'd love to see which company falls first, because every company has its day where people don't buy its products anymore. It doesn't make any more money. And if I had to place my bets, if PlayStation doesn't do anything, I think it's going first. So I'd be very concerned about that. Then I'd have to say either Xbox or Nintendo is going first. But I think they have a great lineup of games for this Christmas season. They're obviously working very hard on making new things, keeping old things, trading cultures, and working to make sure that the gamers have the best experience possible. Every corporation has their little defects. Even Nintendo, I'm a Nintendo fan, but I think that they have their defects. They need to sort of, change a few minor things. Xbox can change a few things. PlayStation can change a few things. Start innovating, getting new things out there, making sure the things work when they innovate them. But I'm very interested in where this goes.
Very well put. I completely agree with you. Thanks for watching. And for those on the YouTube site, be sure to like and subscribe our video. And while you're on the YouTube site, be sure to check out Animal Crossing 35, aka Jonathan, channel. He posts really great vlogging. In fact, he just did a whole new video on Kindle accessories. So be sure to check that out. And while you're at that, be sure to also check out my blog, techtalkforgeeks.blogspot.com, where I post a post every single day and a video every single week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Until then, happy holidays.